Welcome to Thoughts for Growth, a 3 to 15 minute program to inspire, motivate, and or provoke you to see life differently. Brought to you by K-Wave 6 Radio every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, here's your host.
There's a better way, there's a better way. Take one step back and say there's a better way, there's a better way.
Hello, wherever you are in the world today, and welcome to Thoughts for Growth. This is Kirk Spencer, your host at K-Wave 6 Radio. Yesterday, I had an interview with Andreas Ginestedt, who is a senior expert in NATO. That's the title they gave him. And his work is called Systems Theory of Violence. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest that you do listen to it. And if you don't know the link, just go back to yesterday's blog, and you will find a direct link to the archive. On Friday, it will be put into YouTube, so you can find it there under interviews. Yesterday, before we started our interview, I gave Andreas a quote that I got, and he liked it, and I think he's going to address it in the near future. When he comes back in January, he's going to have a 2-hour show, and we're going to open up the phone lines for you, the listeners, to talk with him, because he does want to talk with the public, and he wants to bring about a change in our way of violence in this world. But as you know, on the Thoughts for Growth segments and all of my shows, the purpose here is to help you, the listener, help everyone realize who they are and what your inner powers are. In other words, I have to make this change within me before I can expect the world to be what I want it to be. If I can't show the world what I want it to be, then how do you expect the world to change? Because all they're going to do is, like children, they're going to see what you do and emulate what you do. So if you're going to speak peace but act violently, they're going to pick up on the violence, not on the peace. I'm one who likes Martin Luther King Jr. When he was alive, he was very peaceful, and he did go to jail more than once just for standing up for peace and love. He was the example. Many people these days consider themselves to be leaders, but they're not leading you down the path of peace. Now, let's go into something that even predates all of this. And let's go to something that Ben Franklin said a long time ago. Those who surrender freedom for security will not have, nor do they deserve, either one. Now, the quotes I gave Andreas, they came from a movie, and I won't bother to mention what movie it came from. If you've been one who watches movies, then you'll probably know where it came from. And I changed the words a little bit just to make it more personal instead of they, them, and all of that. And the first quote was, "Humanity can't be trusted with its own freedom. If you try to take that freedom, people resist. History has taught us much. Humanity needs to surrender its freedom willingly." Now, okay, in one side I understand what governments are doing because of all of the agitation that's going on in the world. They need to watch us. They need to figure out who is a threat, who is not a threat. And then there is the theory that the government listens in and eventually they will use whatever you say against you. Now, all of that I don't know, but I do know that they listen. And I know that people are willing to, and do on a daily basis, give up their freedoms just to feel secure. This quote goes on a little bit further, and it says, "When people don't surrender willingly, other factors are introduced." And I'm going to let you figure out what that means and how it actually plays into your life, into the society we now call the world village or the global village. And in closing this particular thought, it says, the world has been rendered so chaotic, it's ready to surrender its freedom for security. Now, all of this came from this one particular movie. But let's go back to present day. And here's a quote from Barack Obama. You'll be able to see this on the YouTube video, and you can see it on the blog. Here's the quote. I think it's important to understand that you can't have 100% security and then have 100% privacy and zero inconvenience. We're going to have to make some choices as a society. Barack Obama, President of the United States of America. So in this, we cannot truly fight someone who has armed themselves to the teeth. We can't fight them on the same turf. I don't care how many weapons you have at home. You can only get so many people. They have an unlimited supply of armaments. What you can do is find that peace within, trust yourself, make yourself into that being that you want to be. We've said it many times on this show. Be the change you want to see. If you're a Christian, well, your Savior has been telling you to love and to be peaceful. If you're other faiths and religions, those who are peaceful, then understand that you have the right to defend yourself, but defense is not necessarily with armaments. It is find out who you are, because nobody can steal your mind or your soul. Well, they can steal your mind. They can't steal your soul. If you don't have the peace within to go through the future, then I'm supposing you're going to be one of those that we read about or hear about in even the mass media. Please, people, understand that you have to be the change or it's going to continue. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for listening to today's Thoughts for Growth episode. Keep up with what's new on K-Wave 6 Radio by following our blog, following us on Twitter, and liking us on Facebook. All available at www.kwave6, that's the number 6, radio.tk. Again, www.kwave6radio.tk, or if you prefer, www.kwave6radio.wordpress.com.